Hello and welcome to the print interviews. The Parliament is in session, and since the beginning of the session, the opposition has demanded that the Prime Minister come to the floor of the House and speak on the issue of Manipur. Joining us today is Congress MP Gaurav Gogoi, who is also the Deputy Leader of the Congress Party in the Lok Sabha. And today we'll be speaking to him not just about the Parliament and what the opposition strategy is, but also about Assam and the politics there. Sir, thank you so much for speaking to us. First question I'd like to ask you, the opposition has moved a no confidence motion in Parliament. Clearly in the Lok Sabha you don't have the numbers for it, so why move this motion?
You know, at the start of the Parliament, there was never an intention to move the vote of no confidence motion. Before the Parliament had begun, all the major opposition parties had stated that Manipur is a very important issue, an issue that affects all of us. And in a state of conflict, the Prime Minister should come inside Parliament, make a statement, and then let us all debate and discuss the issue and collectively send a message of solidarity. Now, that was initially at the onset our demand. For some reason, the Prime Minister chose to speak outside briefly and since then continued to ignore the Parliament. He has not come to the Parliament even once. Forget about making a statement on Manipur. And when we continue to press upon our demand that he is the leader of the House, he is the leader of the nation, he represents all of India, and when Manipur is burning, we can say India is burning. And therefore, he should make a statement. But when our demand continuously is ignored, in fact, on the other hand, the Prime Minister is making all sorts of political statements against the India alliance, going everywhere. We had no option but to go for a vote of no confidence, knowing fully well that the numbers are stacked against us, but understanding that it is much more important that Parliament functions properly with the Prime Minister coming to the Parliament, sending a message of solidarity to the people of Manipur, appealing for peace and outlining his vision as to how he will bring Manipur back to peace. And I think that's, in a way, we've been successful. The fact that our no confidence motion has got admitted, thanks to the support of the India Alliance parties. We've got the dates now, 8, 9 and 10. And as I said, it need not have been so acrimonious. I think it is only the arrogance of the BJP and the indifference of the BJP to this small state in Northeast India that they are acting like this.
Sir, when the no confidence motion is introduced, the Prime Minister is going to be the last speaker. So is the India Alliance apprehensive that he can change the narrative around being the last speaker, that he can also attack the opposition apart from speaking on Manipur? Is that an apprehension that you have?
See, we are completely focused on our goals, and we went to Manipur. The India delegation went to Manipur, a delegation of 21 MPs went to Manipur. We interacted with everyone. We understand the reality on the ground. That is something the Prime Minister does not. He's not even visited Manipur. So yes, there might be a chance that he might talk about topics which are not relevant, because I don't think he's been briefed adequately on the ground situation Manipur. I think he's been briefed wrong, because normally in the past, when such conflicts have broken out in the Northeast and in Manipur, the governments in the past have managed to control it, get control over the situation in a span of 10 days, max to max 2 weeks. But here, it's been 3 months, people are still living in camps, people have access, ordinary people have access to sophisticated weapons. These weapons are being used against our Indian Army Jawans. Children are being born in relief camps instead of hospitals. So I think the Prime Minister has been completely misguided, misbriefed, both by his Union Home Minister and by the Chief Minister. The Manipur is nowhere close to normalcy, and it is upon the Prime Minister to tell, in front of the people of India, how much does he want to, divert from the attention. But as I said, as an India delegation, when we went to Manipur, they told us to raise our voice in the Parliament, and that's what we're going to do.
So we'll also talk about your visit to Manipur, but before that, now that dates are already there when the no confidence motion will come in, so will the Parliament be able to function now up till that date?
You see, it's unfortunate that what this government is trying to do is create a context in the parliament where the issue of Manipur is diluted. They are passing substantive bills, bills affecting biodiversity, affecting the union territory powers of Delhi. All of this can be discussed later. Today the Supreme Court is seized of the matter of Manipur. The case regarding the atrocities vis-a-vis all women belonging to all communities has been taken cognizance of in Supreme Court, and yet Parliament feels we want to pass bills on other subjects. So they've really continue to rub salt in the wounds of the people of Manipur by pushing and delaying this vote of no confidence till the last minute. And we still don't know whether they will speak on Manipur or will they digress. So we will continue to press upon the fact that listen, change your decision, take the vote of no confidence earlier, and then we can have a substantive discussion on other bills.
So the bills that you've mentioned, there are of course some important bills as well, whether it is the IIM Act or the Forest Conservation Bill. So we've also got to know that there are few MPs from your party itself who think that Manipur should be discussed in the parliament and disruption should be avoided by the opposition as well.
I don't subscribe to that argument and that reasoning in your question and the assumption in your question. Our party and all the parties in the India Alliance are united that Manipur is the #1 issue. We're all united that it has to be taken up under the Rule 267 in Rajya Sabha. Prior to the discussion, the Prime Minister should make a statement, and in the Lok Sabha, all the India Alliance parties, including its leaders and members of parliament, are all united that the vote of no confidence should be taken up as early as possible.
So the narrative that the government is trying to build is that we are ready to have a discussion on Manipur, but the opposition is not interested in having the discussion and they're disrupting the house. Of course, your specific demand is that the Prime Minister should come and speak. But is this narrative something that you think you'd be able to convince the public of? As you said, Rule 176, 267. Do you think that the public will understand the difference between these rules, and do you think you'll be able to counter the government's narrative on this?
You see, people of India have clearly seen two different alliances, the NDA and the India Alliance, and they have seen that how different is our commitment towards Manipur. Rahul Gandhi ji has visited Manipur, Prime Minister has not. India Alliance MPs and floor leaders have visited Manipur. All these union cabinet ministers who are pushing this narrative and propaganda have not. We are saying that the Manipur should be given the highest accordance, importance in terms of parliamentary procedure. They are saying treat it as any normal discussion and treat it under a normal, take it under a normal rule. So people of India have clearly seen that Prime Minister is not serious, Prime Minister is remaining silent, and people in Manipur are blaming both the Chief Minister and the Union Home Minister because both the forces, the state police forces and the central armed forces, have failed to protect women from being raped, children from being attacked, houses from being burnt, elderly from being attacked. So people of Manipur, they see the facts on the ground, and across the nation people can see that how the Prime Minister is running away from accountability inside Parliament.
But do you think a common person understands what the difference between what you are demanding and what the government is saying in the Parliament?
I think the common person understands that we are asking for a Prime Minister to speak inside Parliament, and the Prime Minister is inaugurating a convention center in Delhi, is inaugurating a government function somewhere else, speaking at a political rally, and just choosing to avoid Manipur. And the common person still does not understand that why the Prime Minister speaks on Man Ki Baat but does not say anything about Manipur. So they can see and they can sense that something is wrong. Whether that common person is in Manipur or whether that common person is sitting in Delhi, everybody understands that the Prime Minister is ignoring Manipur, and everybody understands that this is a very insensitive attitude when a conflict is going on for the past 3 months.
So an important bill that was introduced in Parliament, which is of course the bill that is replacing the Delhi Ordinance on services, and you have of course spoken against the introduction of the bill as well. Now, we have seen that the YSRCP and the BJD have come out and said that they will support the government stance on the bill, which means that likely it will pass in Lok Sabha and it will also pass in Rajya Sabha. But the Congress was caught in a precarious situation in this with regard to this bill, because there was a lot of discussion from the Delhi and Punjab units saying that they shouldn't be seen siding with the Aam Aadmi Party. Now that the bill is likely to pass in both houses, do you think that the Congress party is caught in a precarious position?
There has been feedback from our Delhi and Punjab units, but I would not choose the word precarious, nor would I choose the word caught. We are a democratic party. Every state unit has the right to express their views and give their suggestions. At the same time, we have seen how this government is completely misusing constitutional bodies and is using positions of the governor and the lieutenant governor to usher in a political agenda. Our allies are saying the same, whether it's the governor in Tamil Nadu, whether it's the LG in Delhi, and whether it's the misuse of ED and the illegal extension of the enforcement director, the director of the enforcement directorate. So we have seen that this is a pattern, and this pattern needs to be called out, and that is why we feel that in the matter of the Delhi Ordinance Bill, whether it's in the Rajya Sabha or in the Lok Sabha, we've paused our protest and we've lodged why we've opposed the introduction, and in the days to come we will press upon these points, that how this government is completely destroying the fabric of the constitution which was outlined in Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar's vision.
So, you along with 20 other opposition members visited Manipur, which you've already mentioned. We know you met the governor. What did you exactly witness there when you went to the camps and other places?
Well, first of all, you don't expect to see camps after 3 months. You expect to see camps being wound up, and you expect to see people returning to their homes and rebuilding their lives. But what we saw when we spoke to the people was just absolute fear. They have absolute fear about going back to their villages. They're absolutely in the dark as to what the government plans to do in order to rehabilitate them. We saw those classrooms in which those beds are right next to each other. There is absolutely no privacy for women. As I said, children are being born in very unhygienic conditions. They are not being born in hospitals. We met pregnant women who are who are giving birth in these relief camps. And unfortunately, members of our delegation also met the women who were so brutally assaulted in that viral video. And it was shocking to hear that how everything unfolded, this human tragedy unfolded right in front of the state police, and the state police did nothing. And this was a pattern that kept being repeated in all stories. Everybody said that our houses were burned, but the Central Armed Forces were there. We were being chased, and the police was there, and nobody did anything to save us and to protect us. And that is why it is a complete failure of both the union minister, a complete failure of the chief minister, and it just shows that how the prime minister does not believe in the principle of accountability, does not believe in the principle of transparency, will rather digress and divert the attention than seek accountability. That is what we demanded in our meeting with the governor, that there has to be accountability. Otherwise, why will people trust in the state? Why will people trust in the Manipur police in the future? Why will people abide by the instructions of the Central Armed Forces if they are not protected when their lives were at risk? And that's why the Prime Minister needs to address that there has been a serious lapse in law and order. This has been made plain in the Supreme Court's Chief Justice observations today as well. It's been a complete breakdown. The entire month of May and June, there has been mayhem in Manipur, and violence still continues, is what we saw on our recent visit.
How did the governor react to your meeting? Was she welcoming of the delegation coming in?
Well, we stated the facts. We stated the facts of the relief camp. We stated the true experience of what the people said. We stated that what is needed is an all-party delegation to come together and to ensure that there is dialogue between the two communities. It is, I congratulated and I paid my respects to the governor, because she's been saying the same things. She's been saying that the central government delegation needs to come. She's been traveling herself. She's been doing the job that the Prime Minister should be doing. The Prime Minister should be going and visiting relief camps. The Prime Minister should try and lead an effort to call civil society organizations and ask them to let go of their language of animosity, and how can we build an environment of peace and mutual trust. And it's just unfortunate that, in a matter of this magnitude, where what is happening in Manipur is now threatening to spread to other parts of the northeast states, including Mizoram, including Meghalaya, including Assam. Now it has taken on a national security risk as well if we allow this to spread. The situation is so volatile that underground insurgent organizations have got a breeding ground for fresh recruits, because the young people are disaffected, they are disenchanted, they are disappointed. This creates a fertile ground to recruit new young people in insurgent groups.
Are you saying across the northeast?
Yes, because this can be manipulated. What is happening in Manipur, the abandonment of people, the abandonment of women to mob violence, and the complete indifference shown by Central Armed Force can be used by various underground groups to recruit new people inside in their ranks. And such an environment can be exploited by external threats as well, who can use fake news, who can use disinformation, who can use videos of ghastly incidents taking place somewhere else to kind of stoke more fear, more animosity. And be mindful of the fact that there are close to 5,000 sophisticated weapons in the hands of ordinary people. Where you tell me, which other part of India have you seen so many police stations being looted and ordinary mobs taking away guns and pistols and they've been allowed to? Has this happened in Punjab? Has this happened in UP? Has this happened in Bihar? Has this happened in West Bengal? The states that BJP likes referring to, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Bengal. You tell me, give me an example where around 37 police stations have been attacked by mobs and they have simply been allowed to let go, to walk away with sophisticated weapons which they can use on each other, weapons which can filter into the arms smuggling network and can go and reach other parts of the northeast.
So moving to Assam now, since you're MP from there, after consecutive losses in the state polls, how is the Congress looking to revive its organization and what's the strategy ahead?
Well, we had a very good Bharat Joro Yatra in the state of Assam, while the main Bharat Joro Yatra led by Rahul Gandhi did not touch our state, but we had our own internal Bharat Joro Yatra. And since then, I think, it's been a very positive mood in our party. The Karnataka elections have definitely boosted our support and presence amongst the public. And I think the elections as well, which are going to take place in Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, I think that's going to create another swell in favor of the Congress party in Assam and even the India Alliance parties. So while the broader India Alliance has parties which are nationally recognized, we have created our own Assam chapter of this India Alliance, where we've taken small regional parties along with us. So we're in a very positive shape, and all the factors are pointing to the people that how BJP has completely divided the northeast, destabilized the northeast. Wherever the double engine sarkar is, it is only indulging in dividing the people, in benefiting the wealthy sections of the society. So a lot of people are swinging back towards the Congress party.
So since you mentioned about this regional alliance, why not also extend a hand to Mr. Badruddin Ajmal, for example? Because the Congress has allied with the party in the past and there is this national narrative of the opposition coming together. So why not in Assam as well?
See, Assam, as I said, we have a broader alliance with smaller regional outfits. The way we are working with each other, the way, we have been talking about, with the way we are coordinating with each other on political issues, there's a level of coordination that we've reached. We've tied up with Mr. Ajmal's party in the past. It really boomeranged on the electoral fortunes, because there are elements within Mr. Ajmal's party who are quite close to the Chief Minister of Assam, Mr. Himanta Biswa Sharma. In fact, Mr. Himanta Biswa Sharma in a media interview stated that how he has such good personal relations with Mr. Ajmal, and we've often in the past seen legislatures belonging to Mr. Ajmal's party openly praising the actions and deeds of of the chief minister in Assam. So there's a severe lack of credibility amongst the people vis-a-vis the AIUDF party, and that's an issue that they have to fix for themselves. It's their own public statements and their own public positions which have alienated people from that party.
So recently a video also went viral about an arms training camp allegedly run by Bajrang Dal in Assam. So police has also registered a case about that. How active is Bajrang Dal in Assam?
Well, you know, ever since Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma has joined the BJP, he has been trying to adopt the ideology of the RSS and the Bajrang Dal inside Assam, and this is a ideology which is alien to Assamese culture. You know, in the past we had the Congress culture of nationalism. We also had regional parties who subscribed to a political ideology of regionalism, but both, whether it was the regional political ideology or the nationalist political ideology, it was never divisive. Both were in a way uniting people around a political cause. But what Mr. Himanta Biswa Sharma is trying to do is to bring this culture which is alien to the northeast in Assam. So in a way he's a Trojan horse for the BJP RSS. He is emulating the policies of the UP Chief Minister. He wants to turn Assam and Northeast into what Uttar Pradesh is under Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, and that's completely unfortunate because we have our own traditions, we have our own beliefs, we have our own ways of how issues need to be resolved. We certainly do not ascribe that if you are with us, we'll support you, and if you're against us, we'll bulldoze you. That bulldozer model that is prevalent in UP is what Mr. Himanta Biswa Sharma is trying to emulate in Assam.
So broadly talking about the whole of Northeast and the politics there, just a few years back, Congress was the most prominent party there. Now, what is the reason according to you that the Congress has been reduced to such a level where it is today, and what is the way forward?
If you look at the history of the Northeast, in every state, the political battle has always been between the Congress and the regional party of that particular state. Through the NEDA alliance, these regional parties have all come together, and they've got a lot of financial support from the BJP, who sits at the center, and they are misusing their income tax and ED to break people away from the Congress party, to lure them into their BJP, to give a lot of financial support to these regional parties, and that is why they have managed to cobble together a successful alliance in the past. But as you see, there has been a lot of fractures in the NEDA alliance. If you see in Manipur, with respect to Manipur, their own ally in Mizoram is criticizing the actions of their ally chief minister in Manipur. So there's a war of words that is taking place between Mizoram government and Manipur. In the past, there was a war of words between the Assam BJP government and the Mizoram government. In the past, during the Meghalaya election, the BJP went to Meghalaya, Mr. Amit Shah went to Meghalaya and called the NPP the most corrupt party in India, and his party was part of the government in the last 5 years and now continues to be. So whether it's the Citizenship Amendment Act, whether it's the Naga Peace Framework, which we have no idea of, these are all different issues which are creating fractures, and Manipur is really kind of is signaling the decline of the BJP and the absolute the absolute meaning, the lack of meaning of the NEDA in the region, and that's why I think people are, as I said, are swinging back to the Congress party, and their unholy alliance is getting exposed on every issue.
Now, sir, delimitation is a big political issue in Assam. If you could explain to our viewers why you have opposed it and why you think that it's a political move.
Well, back when delimitation took place in India around 2007-2008, the entire process was done through a delimitation commission. It was our government in Delhi and in Assam, but there was a lot of public protest saying that We want the National Registrar of Citizens, that registrar to be completed before a delimitation is done on the 2001 census. The state government of Assam, the Congress party, agreed with the sentiment of the people, and we appealed to our government, our union government, to say that let us halt the process of delimitation. Now, there were similar other reasons why delimitation did not take place in Jammu Kashmir, in Manipur and in Mizoram, and one more state whose name I am forgetting. Most recently, we saw that out of the 4 states in the northeast where the delimitation has not taken place, the BJP, with 7 months left for the Lok Sabha, have introduced a delimitation in a process which was totally supervised and conducted by the Election Commission, which meant that there was no delimitation commission set up, which meant there was no consultation with the political parties, which meant that political parties were not part of the delimitation process. It was all done in secrecy by the Election Commission, and we see that the draft that they have proposed seems to be a draft made in the BJP party headquarters, because it mirrors the BJP's voting patterns in the last 2 elections, in Lok Sabha and Assembly elections, and that is why we see that this is an effort to help the BJP in the run-up to the Lok Sabha elections, and it is a complete misuse of the Election Commission, and it is a complete misuse of the way any state should undergo delimitation.
Before we end the interview, Mr. Gogoi, I'd like to come back to Parliament. So, for example, last session, the opposition was asking for a discussion on Adani, and there was disruptions because of that. This time, it's on Manipur. Earlier, it's also been done over the course of the 9 years of the Modi government. It's been done on the VAPAM scam, for example. But we have seen that from one session to another, the issues are not carried forward. So don't you think this gives an advantage to the government to set their agenda and to also see at the end of the day that the opposition is not allowing Parliament to function?
You see, the agenda of the Prime Minister is to render Parliament meaningless and ineffective. This is the way he ran Gujarat when he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat. When he was the Chief Minister, he would do the same thing: suspend opposition lawmakers, pass the bills in a din, and hardly appear in the Gujarat Assembly and make hardly any statements. That is the way he is running the Parliament since 2014. He inaugurated the new Parliament, but he is absent. He's been totally absent. He makes statements outside the Parliament. He speaks in foreign parliaments, like you saw in Washington, D.C., in the US Congress, but he doesn't speak inside our Parliament. Standing committees records show that their ability to scrutinize bills is going down. Chairpersons of standing committees are selected based on proximity to the BJP. So this entire agenda of this BJP is to render Parliament meaningless. And why I say this BJP? Because this is a very different BJP from Mr. Vajpayee's BJP. Mr. Vajpayee, when he was the Prime Minister, too faced a vote of no confidence. Then the numbers were stacked against him. He, like now, could have pushed the no confidence motion, 7 more days, 10 more days, pass bills that were politically convenient for him and tried to shore up numbers. But he took the challenge head on and he lost the vote, but he had respect. He spoke in Parliament. The former Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh, used to speak in Parliament. When there was an issue in Assam with the violence in Kokrajhar in 2012, Prime Minister Manmohan Singh ji spoke in Parliament. He spoke about the 1984 riots as well. So it is a tradition of parliamentary democracy that India has been so proud of. It's a tradition that the entire world looks to India as a beacon of hope, the way we have protected parliamentary democracy. And that tradition is being attacked by the Prime Minister, and it is to preserve our way of democracy, our way of parliamentary and constitutional values that we are, will go to any ends to protect. And if that means that Rahul Gandhi ji gets disqualified our MLAs get suspended, we get attacked by law enforcement agencies, our female MPs are trolled. So be it. We will continue to fight the good fight because we believe that this is what India needs, and this India alliance is there to protect the idea of India.
Sir, what I meant is, why aren't these issues carried forward? Like, for example, in this session, why is the Adani issue not being raised by the opposition, for example?
You see, in politics, you have to respond to the issues of the hour. And we are responding to the issue of Manipur. How can we say that, we discuss an issue which was of the past and we should not put Manipur, we should put Manipur on the back burner? No, how can we say that? So, at the same time, the issue of Adani is not an issue of just the winter session. That issue we've been raising since day one. Who do you think Mr. Rahul Gandhi was referring to when he was saying that this is a Sudbut ki sarkar? Who do you think Congress party was referring to when they say that this government waived off the loans of 12 big corporates? Who do you think the Congress party was referring to that the farm laws are being brought in to support a particular industrialist? So, the theme of cronic capitalism, the theme that this government is subservient to the interests of Adani, it continues to be repeated, continues to be communicated to the public. So I don't think it's either that or that, either this or that. We've been talking about how Prime Minister is dividing the country based on caste, religion, creed, gender. The fact that Northeast is being destabilized was picked up by Rahul Gandhi in the past as well. There's a parliamentary speech in which he talked about that. He warned the Prime Minister and the BJP not to fiddle with the Northeast. So whether it's the division of society, whether it's the inequality in society, the economic inequality, and whether it's the attack on constitutional and parliamentary values, these three themes the Congress party has been saying since 2014, and the India Alliance will continue to echo across the length and breadth of our country in the weeks and months to come.
So with a few months left for the 2024 Lok Sabha polls, how will Congress take on the big political machinery of the BJP?
Have we not won Karnataka? Have we not won Himachal? Karnataka was a double engine sarkar. Himachal was the state government was Mr. JP Nadda's, the party president of the BJP. It was his home state. So why I'm saying, in the manner that I'm saying, that let's break the perception that BJP is invincible, right? So, they lost Tamil Nadu, they lost West Bengal. Prime Minister went hammer and tongs in West Bengal. They lost West Bengal. They did badly in Punjab. They've lost Karnataka. They've lost Himachal, right? So, yes, they've regained one or two states, but they've also lost many. So, let us break this aura of machinery. This is a party that has failed people in different states, and therefore, is being voted out. You will see in the elections to come, whether Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, that they will lose their government in Madhya Pradesh, and we will regain our government in Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh. You will see in Telangana that our party will do much more better than BJP. You will see in Mizoram that Congress will do much better than BJP. So, point number one is that they are not invincible as you make them out to be. Point number two is Congress is gaining strength, and I think that's very important. While the coming together of the India Alliance is very important, but a strong Congress at the center and fulcrum of the India Alliance is very important as well. And we're seeing that, whether it's through the Bharat Jodo Yatra or the state elections. And thirdly, as I said, the India Alliance that is coming together. So far, it's restricted to political parties. But I feel that during the Bharat Jodo Yatra, it was not a political yatra. People from across all walks of life joined the yatra because everybody is feeling suffocated and everybody wants to be free. And Indians cherish their freedom over anything, right? And I think that's going to be, what is that momentum, the final wave that Indians stand for the idea of India and will vote for India. And that's what's going to carry us through the 2024 Lok Sabha elections.
I think we should conclude with this. Thank you, Mr. Gogoi, for speaking to us, and
Thank you.
we hope that Parliament starts functioning very soon. Thank you for watching. Do tune in for more such interviews from The Print.